everyone, welcome back to FiddleUP. I'm Emerald Ray, and today we are going to be working on a tune called Blackberry Blossom. In particular, this is referred to as Garfield's Blackberry Blossom. And this is such a fun one. I love playing this one. I kind of play this one like a Cape Breton tune. It's kind of less like an old time tune or a bluegrass tune and more like Emerald style. There's lots of kind of Celtified stuff in there, which is what I do anyway. But this one in particular has got a little bit more going on. So be aware of that. Definitely is sort of a cross-genre version of this tune. So let's start off on, the tune is in G. It's in G, but it's got a little funky flatted seventh on it. It's kind of, one of those modally kind of tunes. So we're going to start off. So F and G on the D string. And that's your pickup right there into the first note. And I can't seem to play this without playing the G, open G ring on the bottom either. It's just part of it for me. So I'm coming up the A string from the G, A, B, C, D, and then an F. And then from there, the next phrase is. So that's from the DCB, DCB, G, F. And I'm kind of following that pattern with my bow too, with the slur there. So let's start from the top. And I'm doing a little warble, little double trill, whatever you call that. So I'm just putting my F down and then lifting it up really quickly. So let's move on to the next phrase. So very similar to the first phrase, but with a little pulse at the end. So that last piece is. So that's coming down from DCB. And then the G, I'm doing a little pulsing bow there. There's a video on the pulsing bow in the ornamentation section. See how nicely that goes together? So let's try that again from the bottom. So we have at the top, F natural, and pulse. Excellent. Let's try that one more time. that pulse is just coming. It's a little funny to start it on an up bow. So let's talk about that really quickly. So we're doing an up bow and then just a little push. And I'm doing that with my first finger there. Okay, great. So the next phrase is... So it's exactly the same as the first, but with a G at the top instead of an F. So it's nice and easy. And I'm doing the same double trill, warble, whatever you want to call it. I think of a double trill as being coming down, and because this is just lifting the note, I think of it as being a warble. The jury's still out on that one. So the pickup is just an A there into the last part. And then the last phrase is... So the starting on a B on your A string. Just a little BCB. It's almost like a little trill. Down to the G on your D string and the F on your D string, open D. And then down on the G string, C, B, C. And then open D. So we're going open D down to the B on your G string, open D again, and then to the F natural, and then G. And to match that other pulse, I'm putting another pulse in there. On the up bow. So the whole phrase is... Alrighty, so we made it through the A part. Let's do the whole thing together. So let's go through that. So we're starting at the top. And then we have the answer to that. And pulse. And then we're going to do the same thing again, but with the G at the top. And then the ending. All right, let's try that all with a repeat. So we'll do it twice. so let's move on to the B part. The B part is really fun. I really love this whole tune anyway, but there's something really special about this B part. So that's where we're going to start. So up on the top, G up here. So that's G to A. And then down to the D on the A string. And then to the F natural. So that's F natural, G. And then down to the C on the A string. So do you see how that works? You have a G. Kind of funky, isn't it? I love it. So G. Let's try that a little bit faster. And then after that, we just have so nice and easy, right? Let's try that again. And then back up to the G. So this one, I struggle with this one because there's so many ways you can play this particular phrase. So I end up playing, but you know, you can play whatever you want there. I know that sounds annoying for learning a tune, but a lot of these tunes have sort of fluid parts like this. So that's why, fiddlers have all different versions of tunes, because there are some tunes that just won't settle, This is one of those parts. So you can keep it simple and play that if you want to, or you can go along with what my hands always want to do and play that. Okay, so let's play those two phrases together. Got that? Let's try it again a little bit slower. All right, so moving on to my favorite part. I love this part. It's so wild. So we get a nice B up there. So G to B. To the open E. G, B, G, E. And then F natural. So we have F natural to A. And then down to the C on your A string. And then after that, we just play. But let's just work on that first part. I just wanted you to know where this was going. It's going to a good place. So from that G. So G to B, open E, C, and then phew, we have a familiar part coming. So I think that's how it happened in the A part. I think so. Sometimes I can't keep things straight. All these tunes sound the same. It's okay. You can get them mixed up. They all sound the same. All right, let's try that whole B part together. There we go. So let's try that again, but I forgot to mention there's a little anticipation there. Now it happens so fast when you're playing this tune at full speed that you wouldn't even think of it happening. It's very subtle when you're playing it fast, but when you're playing it slow, it's like really long. So you can decide when you're playing it slow whether or not you want to put it in or not, because it's kind of a lot. But let's try it anyway. So when you're coming out of this part, so I'm doing a big down bow. You see that? So we'll talk about that more when we get to the fancy stuff at the end, but I just wanted to throw this anticipation in, and if you want to do a few slurs there while we're going slow, that would be a great thing to do. But let's try the B part just twice through with a repeat. Excellent. All right, let's try the whole tune. Are you ready? Do a little slower than that. 1, 2, here we go. We made it. All right. So let's talk about how to level up this tune. Let's talk about how to get this tune fast. This tune goes fast, fast, fast. It doesn't have to go that fast, but I like to do it that fast. I like to play this one for dances and even places where you play faster than dancing. This one just goes along so great. So, you know, obviously that big G at the bottom, mandatory. Sorry, if you're hearing noises, it's the wind blowing things down in my house. Welcome to the country. So the only thing, I'm playing it much faster, but the only thing I did there was a couple of extra slurs, which I can show you. So I did that, but I kept it going. You see that? So sometimes if you just keep it rolling. When you're playing around with your slurs and trying some experimenting out, just, you know, if you see a pattern, just see if you can keep it going for as long as possible until it gets annoying. So when you get this tune up to fast, so that thing I just did at the top there, that is Cape Breton all day long coming out. That is totally... That is just very Cape Breton-y right there. And because I play so much Cape Breton music, that stuff just bursts out. And so that's just that little warble at the top, but on a... But I'm kind of arpeggiating that a little bit. Just the sound of it is very Cape Breton-y sound. If you listen to Cape Breton music, you'll go, oh yeah, I know what she's talking about. So this B part, excuse me, obviously I'm trying to do some double stops in there, and when you have that melody as that's played, it's a little harder to do double stops on. So often what you'll hear me and lots of other people doing is blocking out that part and just making it blocky and chordy. So that's super wild. That is that is some double stopped. They're fourths is what's happening there. So I'm doing a G and a D. And then I'm doing the next fourth down. That's an F and a C. So let me play that in tune for you. That would be nice. But I'm sliding it just a little bit. Sliding just a, like sort of that same C. Everything's very fluid. Yeah, I think it's just the C that I'm doing there. I kind of, in my head, was thinking I was sliding both, but I was imagining that. So it's just the C. The C is just, it won't stay put. And then for that last part, I like to play, because how fun is that? It's just too much fun not to do. So it's the same notes and everything. I'm just leaving things down for double stopping purposes. And it just sounds so weird and cool. So just down, up with the bowing, hitting that anticipation there. So in the middle, I am going straight down to the open strings. So yeah, just play around with all that. You know, weird is good, weird is awesome. So you can add all of that into your original version. If there's something kind of funky and cool, just leave it in, because so enjoy playing with this one. This is one of my favorite tunes. I really love this one, and I hope it becomes one of your favorites as well. And enjoy this weird modal G land that we've entered. And I hope you have a great day. I will see you next time.